Hello, good afternoon, Lakshya.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you? Fine.
Yes, sir. Fine.
Lakshya, where were we last time? Screen is
Yes, sir.
visible.
We were doing we did decorators.
Okay.
We did the loop functions too, like nested function or something.
Okay, decorator is clear.
Yes.
How these improves your the capability of your program, Lakshya?
Sir, so repeat, um, if you call
How?
one function,
Sorry.
in
Go ahead.
that function you can put a lot of other functions, so those will automatically happen. You don't need to call everything.
Mm. Let us suppose I have got my name is Pandey, your name is Lakshya. Okay. How will you use these two names in decorator?
What do you mean, sir?
I have my name is Pandey, your name is Lakshya. How will you use these two names in decorator? How I mean how I am going to have something here as a decorator? You have done everything. Then what will be my role? How I'll be using your made function? Hello Lakshya, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how it is going? Could you get my question or not?
No, sir.
Okay, let us
Cannot
go here.
get
Screen is
from you.
visible. Screen is visible to
Yes,
you.
sir.
Lakshya, let us suppose there are 40 students in the class, right? Right, Lakshya? Now, when you have defined one common function with this name, right? And when you have defined this common function, then if there are 40 students, they can all access that function by their name. How? Display is the common function. This one will be assigned to everyone. This one will be assigned to everyone. So what I will do, I will write this function name here, and rather I can put that plus here. If I'll put here, that will become that will become a string also. Here I can write down a message: welcome Lakshya, welcome Pandey, welcome Smith, welcome Mark, welcome Mike. All those can come up here. So that means what is happening here, one common function can be made flexible and user friendly by assigning it to someone else. So this function will be treated as an object. Okay. Okay, Lakshya
Okay,
or
sir.
not? So I mean this can be very useful, but depending upon this one. This is one. Second, you can have another look to it also. The same one, put here your name, my name, and then what you are doing, you are using the common function. You are, hello, you are using the common function func here, and this func is being used as an argument and being passed to f1 and f2. So that way also this can be used. I mean, what I mean to say, let us suppose each student is there. Say student one, you want to display some message to him, and by you know say without disturbing his marks, without disturbing his other things, that will remain as it is, but you are passing a message to everyone that today there is no class, like this, if you want to pass on to every student, then you can use just a common function for that. You can just use a common function for that. And from the library, you are giving different to, I mean, you are giving a individual name, class student name. But that is, we are making just single function and then being passed to everyone. Not, couldn't get this. Did you get what I am trying to convey?
Yes.
So this can save a lot of time. Also, this will be quite helpful from the from the understanding point of view. And means it is something like this. What I am trying to say here. See, assume function one is student, say student P1, P2, P3. These are, say, your student names. Okay, what you are doing, all are accessing to a common function, and that common function is, say, if you want to give some message kind of thing here, and then by keeping everyone's information as it is, everything will remain there. If they are having their marks M1, M2, M3, their information will remain as it is, but the parameter which you have passed here, that is message, and that will be used in each and every case. So they will get a message of this by when the name is coming up there. I mean, everyone's name is coming up here when you are passing, and but calling a common system, this is a common system, and then it is being diverted to individually. Getting
Yes.
this you are doing here. This is using a common. Firstly, this is a common function display, and it's taking just one argument, and this argument you are giving here. Say if you type here Lakshya, so it will be calling Lakshya function only. It will be calling Lakshya. From here, the name is being given to common, and common to then this one, like this. Okay. This is decorator. Another one is, what are the closures is okay. Closures, actually, these are nested functions. Simple. The fine thing about these function is closures, that the inner function can use outer data. The inner function can use outer data. Inner function is display one. It is using outer arguments. Okay, please. Closure. Why we call them closures? Because they are inside the outer function, and they can access variable of outer function. Both the things are there. One, why we call closure function? Closure functions in Python are the functions which are defined inside the outer function. And another property of these functions, these functions are that they are using the outer argument in their operation, like you are doing here print message. But see, you are doing here but calling here parallel to def. Lambda function is okay or not? Lambda function in
So we
Python.
didn't start lambda.
Hmm? We are at lambda.
Yes, sir.
A lambda function, this is actually a new addition to Python. A lambda function. See, so far, whatsoever we are doing, we are giving, whatsoever function we are creating, we are giving name to them. Whenever we are creating any function, we are giving name to them. But when we are coming to lambda function, it is a function which is not having any name. A function without name is known as lambda function. And it can take argument. I mean, it can take arguments, too many arguments. Even array form can also come up there, as many as you want. So the syntax for this one is, you will be using lambda arguments, and then you will be using expression to do some calculations. So here, this part is my lambda argument, and this is my expression, what I want to do. So whatever you are giving this, I mean, from here, whatever you are returning, that will be assigned to M. So for lambda function, all the time you have to keep in mind lambda function's argument and then expression. These two things will all the time be there. So when it is here, what you are going to, how you are going to call this function, as this is a function, so this is going to accept your arguments. So when a function accepts argument, means it can do calculation. It can do calculations. It can, sorry, please. It can do calculations. It can do your, uh, if else statement checking. It can be used in switch statement. It can be, I mean, it can do almost many things depending upon the expression that you are defining in your inside your lambda function. So here keyword is lambda is a keyword which is being used for this. This lambda is taking one argument, that is in this case it is taking x, and this x, what is it is doing, whatsoever you are passing here, it is adding 10 to that. It is adding 10 to that. That means if you come down to your main function, in the main function you are calling this lambda function, and this lambda function is being called with the return value whatever you are getting here m, and you are passing one argument, that is as it has been told here. So m5 has been used to call it, and then it is returning you 15. It is returning you 15. It is clear or not clear, please? What is a lambda function?
Yes.
So please try to make it if you can. From argument point of view, this can be any number. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, as many. Okay. Whatever argument you are passing, try to use them in your expression. So when that expression will be executed, it will return a value that will be stored in the M. When that value is being stored to M, that means you can call this function with that return value. And even more, if you want to store the value of that, you can do that also. So if you want, you can make this. This is very important function, lambda function. Please try to make it. Done, Lakshya? Done, please.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. And try to remember this syntax, please. And another thing is how to call it. Here you are calling by this. It means whatsoever return is being, whatsoever variable you are using in return, that is taking an argument. And another way you can see in the examples also what you are doing. Example 3, here you are defining a function calc n. Now what you are returning lambda a, I mean it's taking a as an argument, and this is your expression, means a multiplied by n, means n, if it is n is 2, so little hitch here. And what is n? N is not given, no? Okay, here it is. Here it is. Calc OB. Calc OB means 4 is being given to it, and A is your 4, and B is your uh, argument. N is here 10. A is 4, N is 10. So on the basis of that, it will do calculation. A is 4, N is 10. So A means 4 multiplied by 10, that will become 40. So it will be printing 40. Now we can move to next, please. What are the Python generators? Python generator is a function that returns an object which we can iterate over one value at a time. Python generator is a function that returns an object, means that is an object which is, that is an iterator actually. I'll show you first example, then it will be better to understand. I think once you can read this, please, so that you know whatever hiccup you will have, that you will understand by example. Actually, it is also a function, please. We are learning right now function. So here in the generator, we have a, iterator function, and otherwise in the looping, what we would be doing, we would be, executing a loop again and again, I mean, repeated number of times. And on the basis of that, it would be giving you the final value. But here we are not doing that. The thing is here that one keyword, that is yield. Yield is keeping a track of that variable, and that variable is, when getting changed, the next value is coming up to that variable itself. So yield is a keyword which is maintaining your iterator. Iterator means repeater, means like for in the loop for I equal to 1 to 10, that means I is having values from 1 to 10. So it's incrementing your values one by one. So iterator or incrementer will be 1 here. In this case, when we are working yield, it will also do the same thing, but it will not use any loop. So see this, please, how it is doing. Here you need to learn this also. Yield is a keyword in Python that is used to return from a function without destroying the state of its local variable. And when the function is called, the execution starts from the last yield statement. Any function that contains a yield keyword is termed as a generator. Hence, yield is what makes a generator. So without this yield, you will not be able to create any of the iterator. But as without yield, we are doing by looping, for loop, while loop, all those, where we are using a loop running for say 10 times, for 5 times, or as many times as the user is entering. But the same thing here we are doing with the help of yield function. So how it is doing here, please see. Here I have got a loop for item in my Zen function, and I am printing that item. But the thing is this function is being used as a iterator. Zen is being used as a iterator because we do not know what is in the iterator. So what is inside that? Because here it is being used for loop, but how it is coming? This is coming from Zen. So Zen is also being used as a generator, as normally we do in range from 1 to 10. When we write range from 1 to 10, means that is number generator. So similarly here also, the generator function is being created with the help of yield function. What it is doing actually, See, def myzen is a function where you have initialized n equal to 1. So now if you will print n, sorry, if you will print the value of n by using yield, then what you are going to get, you will get n equal to 1. But the very next time, this will be printing 1. Very next time you have increased 1. So now when you have increased it, again, if you will print value of n, what will happen? This will be n equal to 1 was there. It means that has been incremented. This is retained. This is retaining value of n equal to 1. Otherwise, so in this case, it will be printing value of n as a next number. Again, you are incrementing is, so here this value will be printed by, so actually the overall concept is coming up where you are retaining this value, where you are retaining the value of n. If n has been initialized with some other value, like say n equal to 0, but it will not that. It will be giving you this yield value. Yield value means the value which was last retained by it. Say n equal to 1, n equal to 2, 3. So last value was a 4. So next number when you will add, that will become 6 after a 5. But if that is not there, then what will happen? This will be giving all the time 1 value, and then 1 plus 1, this will be giving you 2. So here, please just make this function. If you understood, I I don't think it's very clear. You just make it once. I'm very sure you will get it. Or if you want, I will make it. There's no problem.
Sir, can you just show how it works in Python?
I'll just do it in. Window movement error swing, where the window is not correct. Seeing what it is showing. Seeing the
So I
output.
can't see the screen.
Output. Output is visible, na? Hello.
Yes.
Now, what exactly it is doing? See, you are doing it by n also. You are repeating everything there. But what you are getting in this function, that, just a minute, I'll go back. Oh, sorry, where is the program? See what exactly this function is doing, how you are able to generate, how you are able to use it here. That's more important, please. Means this generator is able to give value of n each time it is being called. Each time means it is giving you next number. First time when you called, it was here. So value of n was given to this as 1. Getting? Next time it came up here. Although this calculation is being done inside this function, but what yield is doing? Yield is giving this value to this generator again. So that means that the next number is coming up. Yield is what yield is doing here. Yield is retaining this value. When it is retaining and returning back to this function, that means the for loop is able to run. Means 1, then 2, then 3. All the time it is able to move ahead. Getting or not? Lakshya, the execution is clear, not clear?
So yield is just
Yield is able,
returning incrementing value to
you're
the function.
incrementing value. Otherwise, see, if you will write n, it will give you, I mean, n will not return here at all. Getting? If you are returning n, so n will be here 1, and then after that, what will happen? Again, next time 1, again, next time 1, again, next time 1. But yield, what it is doing, you have called 3 times, how it is able to maintain the value of n? By this yield.
So, but n isn't passed as an argument in the
Sorry,
function.
sorry, Lakshya.
So, and I was saying n isn't passed as an argument in the function, so what does it matter?
If you are passing n, if you will pass n, what will happen when you will be first time calling it? It will become 1. So when it will be returning, and 1 will be returned. Again, next time when it will come, n will be 1. Again, that will be returned. Or either what you want, if you are doing incrementing, all the time it will be returning 3. If you see this function 1, here you are incrementing 2, here you are incrementing 3. So all the time you will be getting a function 3 only. All the time
Yes,
value of n will be given 3. But here in the generator, it's not being done. One time if it is being calculated, once the value is being handed over to this, and this loop will be printing 1. And next time again it is doing calculation, then yield again is handling over that value to 2. Then again here coming up, it is doing calculation, the value of n is being handed over to mygen 3. So you are able to run loop 3 times. 1, 2, 3, like that. So generate, you are able to generate. Concept is, purpose of this one is to generate next number. Clear, not clear?
clear, sir.
Little bit confusing. You will have to make, and you will have to here, you will have to make this program, and you will have to change some value. You will be able to understand it. I mean, what I am trying to say, when I am writing yield n, that means this value is going where? Where this value is going up, Lakshya? Yield n.
Yes, sir.
Here you have written n equal to 1, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
here you are writing yield n. What does that mean actually?
So it returns a value as 1 to the function.
Exactly. So loop will go from 1 to 1, means 1 will be
Yes.
printed. But next time here you are incrementing value of n. Now it is, has become 2. Again, this line will be printed after this, that yield n. So again, it is saying go here and print that value. That is 2 now. So loop will go from 1 to 2. 1 to 2 means, see, simply that is in the hierarchy. So that knows, this yield function knows 1 has already been given. So that will become 2 now. So loop will go then the onward 1 to 2. 1 to 2 means 1 has already gone, please. That will not be. No repetition as all at all. So now after that again it will coming here, it will become 3. So this line will be printed. Again it says n yield n. So this value will become 3 now. So the loop will move from 1 to 3 by with the help of your yield, and all the time new generated number will be passed on to the function. So that's why it is known as generator. Now if you want to read it, you can read it. Getting?
Mm,
So that
yes.
means last statement, it knows that last statement has been executed. Otherwise, what would have happened in this case? If you would be using it as an return value, then first time it will print one, next time it will print one to two, next time it will print one, two, three, like this will happen. But here it will not happen in the case of yield. Okay.
Yes.
Now after this, we will be moving to next. That is oops. Python oops concept. So what is oops? What is oops? Oops is I mean, oops is a concept, programming concept, which is near to real world. Real world means this is absolutely based on object. What is oops? Oops is a property of object-oriented programming language that works on five main properties. And it all the time keeps in mind that you are working with the real time objects, real life object. Those objects are having some properties, behavior, and characteristic. Getting, not getting? What is oops? Oops is, I mean, object oriented programming, and that is dealing with the real world objects. Real world objects, those can be your any object whatsoever you are seeing by whatsoever object you are seeing. Those may be your pen, pencil, rubber, eraser, notebook, your vehicle, and your computer, laptop, monitor. It can be anything. Now, because this is oops based, means object based, so everything whatsoever you are dealing with, that is an object. So what all properties of an object are? Object is a thing which can be described by its appearance, by means characteristic, appearance, color, shape, and all that. And then uh, you know state of the object means whether it is being used or not being used, whether it's in action or not in action. And third thing comes out, purpose of the object. What is the purpose of the object? Why you are making it? Because you are going to use it for the purpose of writing if it is a pen, and if it's a mobile, it is being used for the purpose of communication, like this. Clear, not clear, please?
Yes.
Now, when we are doing OOPS programming, object-oriented programming, then there is one class. What is a class? A class is a container for objects. A class is a container for object. So if you are using a class, you can define it. A class is a container for your attributes and properties, because attributes and properties, that means objects are having their attributes and properties. Now, how? Let us suppose if I talk about a student, say class name is student, and what all it is having? It is having attribute as roll number, name, marks, all those. And what are its properties or methods? Like getting information, get data, this data. These are not these are not predefined, please. These are user defined. Okay, so you will have to create all these. Then what are, is this clear, please, Lakshya? Lakshya, is this clear? Not clear?
Hello.
Then what are the OOPS properties? We have got five properties of OOPS, please. Firstly, is this clear? What is OOPS? What is object-oriented programming?
Yes.
Okay, it is based on object, please. Keep in mind all the time, it is based on object. And those objects are real-time object, and which have some properties, characteristic, and behavior. And when it comes, defining of an object, you can define it by its appearance, characteristic, state, and behavior. Then objects are part of your classes. So classes are, what are classes? Classes are containers. Containers that contains attribute and properties, means data members. Data members and the method functions or methods. Methods means the functions. So here data members are, I mean attributes are roll number, name, marks. And what are your properties or methods? Those are get data and display data. So what all OOPS properties are there which we are supposed to implement in Python? Data abstraction, encapsulation, modularity, inheritance, and polymorphism. So define OOPS properties one by one. You need to go through. Data abstraction. What is data abstraction? Data abstraction is a property of OOPS in which only abstracted things are shown. Only of abstracted things are shown. The essential part are kept hidden. By hiding the essential part, you are showing only the abstracted thing, means which is required by the user, by the client. So in this case, say you are a student. Now what you are supposed to give, as an abstraction, you will be handed over your mark sheet. Now what all is a mark sheet? Mark sheet is a complete abstraction of your whole year effort. Whatsoever effort you are making throughout the year, at the end of it, your parents or your the person who is looking for, he will be handed over the mark sheet as an abstracted part. Means everything will be there, but how, what effort you did at the back end, how you are managing in your class, how you are getting all these marks, how much effort you are making, how much difficulty you are facing, nothing will be mentioned in the mark sheet. But the mark sheet means those essentialities which you are doing at the back end will be kept hidden, and only the abstracted part of your performance will be given to you as a mark sheet. So that is an abstraction. Clear, please? Not clear? Lakshya, clear, not clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So now I think 1 minute is left. We can start from encapsulation in the next class. I think at 5 o'clock you have to go now.
Yes, sir.
So we will meet in the next class. Means that will be tomorrow at 4
yes,
4:30 or 4, whenever you want to come over, please. Okay. And
yes,
please
sir.
just revise this. Wherever you have difficulty, not clear in understanding, please feel free to be in touch. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much
Yes.
for coming, Lakshya. We will meet again.
Bye, sir. Thank you.